welcome to day 2 of the Singapore Air Show. We are live here from Embraer TV at Changi Airport, and we have loads to look forward to yet this afternoon. I'm your host, Arthur Williams, and I'll be guiding you through all of the action today. But before we go any further ahead, let's just take a quick look back at some of the highlights from yesterday. Hello everybody and welcome to Embraer TV Live. We're here at the Singapore Air Show 2018.
In Asian folklore, the tiger speaks to progress. And as we think about our values in Embraer, you know, it's to challenge the norms and the status quo, to create a new solution, and then to outperform with our services and support.
It must have taken a pretty talented individual to do this amazing artwork. Now, it was all done freehand by the artist Quintana.
The 195 E2 is a game changer for the region.
You don't get much better publicity than that, do you? Look, there's yourself with the beautiful E2 striking tiger livery on the front. Are you proud of that?
It's nice, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we have been following the tiger since it left Brazil. Thank you.
And we're taking off. Woo! Ha-ha!
When I look at my title, I'm like, well, CEO, kind of a boring thing, right? So I decided to change that title. It's my LinkedIn, and it's Customer Happiness Officer now. What I'd like to do here, and we're going to do a little singing together.
But more, much more than this.
Come d'habitude.
Thank you very much.
Captain Tony,
yes.
You keep operating aeroplanes. Johan, you keep supporting them whilst doing it. And the show got off to a fantastic start for day 1, and it continues today, and I'm sure it will go on for the rest of the week as well. Now, our reporter, Fernando Tiberini, is out on location around the air show, giving you all of the behind-the-scenes look. And earlier, he got a chance to explore the wider city in its beautiful self.
Singapore is an amazing city. It's a city-state built on an island. It's a multicultural melting pot and has 4 official languages: English, Malay, Mandarin Chinese, and Tamil. Now, I've been taking a look at the city this morning, walking around, and here I am standing in front of the iconic Marina Bay Sands. It's an elegant boat-like structure on top, supported on 3 pillars. Singapore actually means Lion City. And we at Embraer thought we're going to stay with the big cat theme. The E2 Profit Hunter is on display at the Singapore Air Show and has a stunning tiger livery. This livery was done freehand, and you can see even the fur looks lifelike and the whiskers almost look 3-dimensional. The tiger livery underlines the profit-hunting nature of this aircraft. The E2 is a next-generation aircraft packed with features that will help operators increase their profitability and outperform their rivals. It will also help airlines open up new markets and routes. This makes it especially well suited to the Asian environment. And now back to the studio to Arthur to see what's happening there.
Thanks very much, Fernando. Now, I'm joined by Ricardo Passe, who is the Managing Director of Asia Pacific region for Embraer. Ricardo, thanks very much for joining me.
Well, Art, it's a pleasure to be here to talk a little bit about our region here.
Now, Embraer have been in Asia and Pacific for over 17 years. You've been based here for 17 years, but you've been providing aircraft to the region for over 40.
Yes, actually the first airplane that we delivered to this region was back in 1978, which was our first model of airplane, the Bandeirante, and to Australia in 1978. So we are very proud to be here in the last 40 years. But in the late 90s, we decided to be here present in Asia, more closer to the market. So that's the whole idea, to be closer to our markets, understand the market.
Offices here.
Yes.
In Asia.
We have opened up at the late 90s. We decided to open up 2 offices in Asia, one in Singapore and one in China. and covering this region of Asia Pacific, and have been very successful because we place more than 330 airplanes in the region.
How important is it to have a base here in Asia when you're trying to sell jets to the region?
It's very important, Arthur, because we in the Western world, we think that Asia is just one big thing, right? Just called Asia, but it's not a big thing. Each country has its own culture, its own ways of doing business, so we have to be here to understand those cultures, to be able to fulfill their expectations. So it was very important. It's paying off our presence here in the region. Very important.
Asia is a region that is experiencing massive change and growth. And how have you seen things change in your time here?
Well, I think we are very fortunate to be here now, very well positioned to cope with this growth that Asia is facing, right? So I think we are well prepared to be able to fulfill all the needs of this market. We have very adequate products now, not only on the commercial side but also on the defense side and the executive jet side. So I think we are very well prepared to fulfill this growth that is happening in this part of the world.
And what are the challenges that you face?
The challenges on the commercial aviation, I think, is still the big carriers, the low-cost carriers, they still have a mindset that they can only use one type of airplane in their operation. I think our main challenge is to change their mindset, convincing them that using two sizes of airplanes is the ideal way of fulfilling all the needs of the market, because there are some city pairs that would require a smaller size of airplane, and mainly a very economical, very good airplane like the E2s. So I think this is the main challenge we have on the commercial side.
In your opinion, how will the E2 generation of jets be received here?
I think very well. Our start here was very good with the Tiger. I think this was a great idea, yes. And I think this will change the game here in Asia. Yeah, I think the E2 now, mostly the 190 and the 195, will be a game changer here for us on the commercial market.
Now, in an area that's experiencing such rapid growth, is it sometimes hard for an airline to provider to come up with meeting the demands of somewhere that has such high demands?
Yes, but we believe in the direct connections. Instead of going through the big hubs, we believe in this concept of connecting direct flights. So the yields are better. So you serve better the passengers, okay, the flying public. So we think that this tool is an ideal tool for them to cope with this growth in the traffic.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because for you, Embraer, it's important to keep the efficiency of the aircraft at an absolute premium and provide airlines and operators with a very efficient aeroplane, but also you have to think of the end user, which is the passenger, and you have to make sure that the jet's incredibly comfortable for them to do. And reducing the number of transfers that they need to make along the line is also just as important.
Yes, that's very. When we designed the E-jets, okay, back in the late 90s, we talked to passengers, we talked to the airlines, and we understood their needs. So that's why we made this airplane. We made a very big and bold move to make a 2-and-2 configuration, avoiding the middle seat. So the passengers just loved that, no middle seat. Yeah. So I think that was a very, very insightful view from Embraer. And the result is the most successful airplane in the market today.
It's incredible, really, that the airplane essentially has been tailored to the demands of customers in the region.
Yes, yes. And now with the E2, with this idea of the staggered first-class seats, which is a new concept, right? So I think it's also very interesting. So we are very, very very excited about this airplane, and we are hoping to see it starting flying with passengers this year, right?
Very
so
soon.
we'll see, yes.
Brilliant. All right. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Now, Embraer, in marketing the E2 generation of jets, have gone for this very bold livery that we can see on the front of the E190. You can actually see it on static display here in Singapore. And they've done it for very good reason. This jet, on this generation of jets, is all about profit hunting. For operators and airlines, it's all about cost efficiency, hunting the profits, keeping the costs down, and making it a very economical airplane to operate. But on the inside, it's a bit of a soft cat, really. It's all about passenger experience and passenger comfort. The airplane's cabin is built for comfort, as this video will demonstrate. That looks like a pretty comfortable cat. Now, if you're wondering what it's like to try and herd a cat like that on board an aeroplane the size of the E2 E190, then have a look at this video, because it offers you ever so slight look behind the scenes of how that film was made.
We're in a very cold Long Island City, New York. It's currently minus 12 degrees outside. However, we're extremely lucky because we're in this wonderful building filming the interior of the E2 Jets mock-up.
So for the last couple of days we've been filming the cabin interior of the E2 Jet mock-up. Then we'll be heading back to London to film our cat against green screen. Putting the two together, it'll look like the cat is in the cabin.
If you can get it to turn round, Sandra, and go back, that'd be great, to the other seat.
Come on. Oh. Good girl. That's the perfect one. Yes. Yes.
With me now is Michael Amalfitano, who is the CEO and President of Embraer's Executive Jets, and his colleague Stephen Friedrich, who's the Chief Commercial Officer. Guys, very good to have you with me.
Good to see you again, Arthur.
How's the show going?
It's going fantastic. It's off to a great start.
Stephen, you having fun?
Outstanding.
Good. So, Executive Jets in Asia Pacific are a really, really strong arm of Embraer. You've got a lot of aeroplanes out here.
We do. Nearly 100 here. About 10% of the fleet is based here in the Asia Pacific and China market. There's 34 of those in China and the 61 here in the Asia Pacific region. Very exciting.
And you offer 3 different types of Executive Jets.
There's 3 that are here. There's 6 total in our fleet, as you know, from the entry-level jet to the ultra-large. But the 3 that we brought was our light jet, the Phenom 300.
Yep.
The Legacy 500, which is the mid-size jet, and then our large jet, which is the Legacy 650.
And you can see them. They're here at Singapore on static
Absolutely.
display.
They're right outside. They're beautifully designed and brilliantly engineered, and that innovation really speaks volumes for this region.
Do you know, yesterday at lunch I had the opportunity to go out there and spend a bit of time walking around, and they look immense. They are beautifully polished and they look fantastic. fantastic.
Thank you so much.
But Stephen, how important is it to have aircraft here at a presence at a major air show like this for customers and people to come and see?
You have to show your aircraft if you want to sell your aircraft. That's the key right there. And I think what we see outside right there is an example of a fantastic portfolio of aircraft, industry leading in its design, state-of-the-art technology, and is really elevating the customer experience overall for both cabin comfort as well as operational availability and reliability in the fleet.
What is it about these airplanes that makes them so special?
It's interesting. It starts with our innovation, 48 years of innovation for the company across defense, executive jets, commercial, and our defense systems business. That innovation is the original DNA of the fabric of our products, and that means you're bringing new clean sheet design aircraft to the marketplace. In the case of Embraer Executive Jets, we've had 8 new certifications of aircraft in 8 years.
Wow.
So that innovation is really what attracts customers to want to know what's happening with our products.
Yeah. What is it like operating executive jets in this particular area of the world?
It's a maturing, evolving marketplace. Obviously, when you look back at the North America marketplace in Europe, very mature, very exciting, very good growth. Here, it's still developing. And so you have to make sure you're delivering a specific value to the customers here. The market that's specific to this region is very focused on the characteristics of low operating cost and high dispatch reliability, because a lot of our customers are using it for charter and using it for fleet operations. That is a big part of why we are so successful in this region.
Are you seeing many of the customers within this region who operate the smaller size executive jets, and then they're so impressed by the quality of the airplane and the services that Embraer offer that they then upgrade to larger jets?
Yes, and what we're seeing right now, if you take a look at the last 5 years here in the region, all aircraft under $50 million, we have had a 90% market share of all aircraft delivered under $50 million, yes. So you can see the growth happening in the region, and people are upgrading as they go.
Yeah, 90%, that's quite impressive, really.
Yeah, so the compound annual growth rate of the region is actually stronger in the case of the Embraer brand as a result.
And what about the future for Embraer Executive Jets within this area?
What's interesting, what we're starting to see now is it's stabilizing marketplace, starting with the deliveries. New aircraft deliveries have been settled around 650 units per year. When you look at our forecast that came out at NBAA in the United States in October of last year, we announced 7,500 units over the next 10 years, worth $215 billion. So we're starting to see an uptick. We're very optimistic about that growth. There's some stability in terms of pricing. There's stability in terms of pre-flown inventory. These are exciting features that we have not experienced in the last decade. That's starting to raise aircraft utilization, so people are flying more. So those are some beginning drivers, and that bodes well for the opportunities for the OEMs to sell more airplanes.
And with Asia growing so rapidly, do you see it as a huge opportunity?
It depends. It's a very unique market. So there's a lot of infrastructure challenges. There's a lot of regional unique characteristics that we have to focus on. So it depends on what market. In the Asia Pacific broader region, yes, we're calling for a 12% growth in the region over the next 10 years, whereas looking back, it only had a 9% growth. So we're seeing a positive demand for the region. Some other markets might not be as robust. China's still struggling in regards to both its economic and political environment, so it's not yet feeling that the growth that the other parts of the regions have.
So once you've provided the airplanes, how important is it for Embraer to look after the customers going forward?
That's really the key, and that's where we excel. When you take a look at the surveys that have been done in the region as well as globally, for the last 2 years, what we've had with Embraer is the #1 customer satisfaction ranking. That's really indicative of not only the reliability that we have with the equipment base and the technological advancements we've put into the airframes, but also in providing that customer support. When we talk about elevating the customer experience, it's not just in when you buy the aircraft, it's also as you operate it throughout
the whole journey.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's really key.
That's the key proposition that we have. It's about focusing on value, delivering that values to our customers and our shareholders, and then elevating the entire experience of the brand.
Michael, Stephen, thank you very much for joining me. Now then, let's see for ourselves just how beautiful the executive jets that Embraer offer are. Wow, they really are another level of luxury and refinement. I could watch that video all day. Now then, at Embraer TV Live here, it's very much your show. We love you getting in touch with us using the hashtag on social media, Embraer TV. So do get on your phones, get in touch, give us your comments, as some people already have been. From Facebook, we've had Mark Jones comment saying, awesome Tiger on the E2, great to see it in the air. We've also had comments from YouTube here. I think the aircraft is competitive, a real profit hunting machine in the market. Embraer make a good job. Congratulations, success. And then we've also had comments from Twitter as well. Here we are at Ryan Keeley's said, the Embraer E2 series is a game changer in terms of cost reduction and passenger comfort. Great coverage so far on Embraer TV. Thanks very much, Ryan. We appreciate comments like that. So do get in touch. We've run out of time for this morning's session or this afternoon's session, but we will be back with you a little later on. We're going to take a short break. Do get in touch and we'll see you in a couple of hours.